What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. My name is Nour Trades, and I'm known for turning $20,000 into a little over $3 million. So today we'll be talking how I made a little over $5,000, how it was almost $6,000, but I ended up messing that up at the very end of the day. But nonetheless, it was a very decent day. I like my entry points. I like my exit points. I did a very good. I had a very good day with emotions, and I think I did a very good job executing Tesla today. Made one stupid ass mistake at the end of the day, a couple of minutes before the end of the day. Costed me $868. You could say $900. But it happened. So let's get right into this and see how I made a little over $5,000 today. And let's go. So as you may know, Friday Tesla announced its Tesla truck. Actually, it was Thursday night, and then Friday the stock opened down $20. There was many reasons that went into that big gap down that day. One, obviously, you heard about the shattered glass, how that was a big fail. Two, the car was very different than anticipated, meaning a lot of people had a vision for a truck that was sort of futuristic, but it looked like a Ford, like one of those trucks. This was completely different. This really looked like a whole different spaceship. So Friday opened down. Over the weekend, Elon tweeted that they had over 187,000 pre-orders. What people don't understand is those pre-orders are $100 one, and it's fully refundable. So he created some hype behind it, but out of those 187,000 people, how many people are going to really buy that car? One, I've seen a lot of people post it on Instagram, so it's an easy flex for Instagram. And two, a lot of people will change their mind by 2021. So you can't really use those numbers. He even tweeted it today after hours that you shouldn't base the pre-orders on how many sales they will get. But today, based on those tweets from Elon, this gapped up. This was up like $14 at open. As you can see right here, this was 4:03 a.m. And what it did was create a gap. So what is a gap, first of all? Well, first of all, a gap, think about it like this. So overnight, there is no trading over weekends. So the hype that was built, the stock opened, people already had bids, right? Think about it like this. People had bids, and the starting price for the stock was at 342 this morning, and it closed at 333. So there was no trading in between, creating a gap, right? That's the easiest way to explain it, right? So it created a gap, and most times gaps need to be filled, even if it's on the downside, and it's healthy, even if it's on the downside, right? So gaps need to be filled in order to have a nice, well graph, even on an uptrend, downtrend, it doesn't matter. You need to fill gaps so that the chart that you're looking at for a specific stock is healthy, right? Filling gaps are healthy. It doesn't have to be the same day, but today it did happen the same day. Let me show you what I did here today, right? So I knew the gap started right here, and the opening price started at 342.41. So I waited this morning for that gap to be filled, and it filled this morning right at open. Not the whole thing, but it broke, right? So I was waiting for it to break 342.41 on the breakdown below, which is right here. As you can see, I'm matching it up to pre-market. As soon as it did that, I entered puts for Tesla. I think I grabbed the 340 puts, if I'm not mistaken, and I grabbed a decent amount. So what I did was I bought here. It fell. I was up around $2,000 and then bought more on the incline right here. And I went to go sell on this down push right here, but I ended up averaging and buying more. So I had 30 contracts. I went to go sell 30, but I ended up buying another 30. And this stock started pushing. So I was down at $1.5 thousand, but I knew the stock had a lot more room to go because it needs to fill that gap. So I held longer, and it started pushing and it started accelerating. And then once it pushed and broke this right here, which is the low of the day, I actually entered for more puts and bought a little bit more and then sold on this downtrend right here around 336 level, right? So I had a really good trade on Tesla. The reason I made $5,000 today was the gap fill. So that's how I made my $5,000 today, on Tesla's gap fill. You can use this in your trading when something has earnings. Something could have some great news in the morning where it gets an upgrade from an analyst. So many different ways a stock could have a gap. It could be political news. It could be a whole. It could be a whole different variety of other things, right? So that's how I made my trade on Tesla today. It needed to have a gap fill, and it ended up having a gap fill. What people might have made mistakes on with Tesla today, say they got in with me, right? And they were like, okay, this is going to fill all the way down to 333. I knew this had room down to 333. Let's put it like that, right? Obviously, holding that long is a risk. What people may have done today was, on this push up, they might have just exited the trade. But notice how this stock got rejected at that certain number, 342.41, right? So people might have made that mistake and got out of that trade, and it started going back down. So they might have lost money on this trade just because they didn't understand that this stock may have just had a quick relief rally. So people probably got scared of this short on Tesla. So I ended up selling this stock at like 11. So I think I sold right here, around this area right here, right before this big candle, last two candles here. So I held the stock for like 2 hours. So a lot of people don't have that type of patience, and I think that's what made the difference between making a lot of money on Tesla or losing a lot of money on Tesla. So that is my trade on Tesla. That is how I made $5,000. I knew that there was a gap fill, and it needed to fill all the way down to 333. And we might see another push down tomorrow, but I think we're done. I think the gap is filled. And that's how I did it. Any more information about me, you could check the description. Comment any other videos you would like from me. Make sure you hit that like button, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys. Peace.